back to Marine the Raccoon Reads Chapter 19 of The Walking Dead Hope. I'm Marine the Raccoon. Let's continue where we left off, mates. Staying for good this time? She asked as they broke apart. Vi and I were betting on when Louis would come running back without you guys. Hey, Louis complained, raising an eyebrow. I'm kidding. We're staying for a few days, Clem told her, the redhead towering over her, much like Louis did. Minnie bent down and placed her hands on Clem's belly, her smile warming the pregnant woman's heart. The redhead ran her hands over the bump, jumping back when the baby kicked back. She looked up at Clem, her eyes wide. Does that mean he likes me? She will love her Aunt Minerva, Louis corrected her, especially if she sings to her. Don't you already do that all the time? Violet teased, crossing her arms. I doubt this kid will have such a threshold for pain. Hey, I happen to be a great singer, Louis claimed, jamming a thumb on his chest. He really is, Clem told the couple, planting a kiss on the man's cheek. From beside them, IJ rolled his eyes, his arms crossed. He asked when dinner would be ready, and Minnie shrugged. No, we're having the same old tonight, so no welcome feast for you guys, I'm afraid, she said, taking Vi's hand. If you'll excuse us, I need Violet for something. With that, the couple bounded off toward the courtyard, closing the door to the dorms beside them. RJ walked toward his room in search of Ten, without a second glance back at Clem and Louis, leaving them to their devices. The couple walked to their room hand in hand, moonlight starting to creep in through the open windows. When they got there, Louis opened the door and bowed dramatically at her, earning a giggle from Clem. Louis's guitar was still sitting against the dresser from last time, gathering dust. He walked up to it, blowing on it and plucking at the strings slowly. Clem took a seat at the bed, heaving a sigh as she removed her heavy boots and massaged her feet. She had read somewhere that pregnant women's feet usually swelled, and her boots suddenly felt 2 sizes too small. Oh man, it took me ages to tune it last time, she heard Louis complain. He sat down beside her, plucking the lowest string and adjusting the tune slightly. When he was satisfied, he repeated the process on the next string. What do you think was up with AJ today? Clem asked suddenly, gazing at one of the fake plants on a dresser. Its yellow petals were a little torn after 5 years there, and the vase had been typed up a number of times. Don't know, Louis said, shrugging, but I'm guessing he was just excited to see Ten. The kids had no one but us for a few months. When he had me for 5 years before we met you guys, Clem argued. Perhaps, but now he's used to this. Let him have his fun with his best friend. He'll be back in your arms in no time, anyway. Clem nodded and smiled as Louis kept tuning the guitar, cursing himself when he couldn't get the tone just right. A few minutes later, Minnie dropped by to announce dinner was ready, and they followed her. Omar and the rest greeted their parents-to-be with bowls of hot rabbit stew and a side of roasted potatoes. Clem noticed IJ wasn't there when she asked Ten. He claimed his friend wasn't hungry. Frowning, she looked over at the dorms aside. Maybe it would be good to give him some space, she thought. Dejectedly, she turned to her food and took the first bite, grateful that the baby didn't eject it immediately. They enjoyed their meals, exchanging stories with the rest. Apparently, Asim had recently proposed to Ruby, which surprised both Clem and Louis. The couple congratulated their leaders. Louis patted Asim on the shoulder. Finally tying the knot, huh? He teased, raising an eyebrow. Never took you for a romantic. Neither did I, Ruby commented, pinching Asim's cheek and making him blush. But he really pulled out all the stops. Louis took his glass, raising it above his head. Everyone followed his lead, and he cleared his throat. This deserves a toast, he began, smiling at the couple. Asim and Ruby, you guys have kept us going for so long now, and I can't speak for all of us when I say you deserve the world in return, and then some. And here's my early wedding gift for you guys. Since you performed our wedding, I feel it's only fitting I perform yours. Before the couple could reject the offer, he thrust the glass inward and chuckled. To Ruby and Awesome. To Ruby and Awesome, the others chanted, downing the contents of their glasses. The celebrations went on for a while, after which Clementine and Louis retired to their room, judging by the faint sunlight on the horizon. Louis figured they'd stayed up quite late. They sat down on the bed, their hands intertwining. He kissed her hand softly, smiling up at her when she blushed. "Are you ever going to stop blushing when I do that?" he asked. She raised an eyebrow at him. "You ever going to stop doing that?" "Nope." Then no, I won't ever stop," she said, placing a kiss on his nose. "Ready for bed?" she asked, lying on the bed. He followed her lead, but leaned on his elbow, looking down at her. "I was actually thinking, since this might be on one of the last nights we will have to ourselves," he said, looking down at her swollen stomach with a lopsided grin. "We should have a little fun." Before she could ask what he had in mind, he fumbled his coat for his deck of cards and showcased to her. "Truth or dare?" Sounds like fun," Clem said, sitting back up. She groaned when the baby kicked again, playing with her bladder like it was a squeeze toy. He handed her half a deck, and they both drew one. Clem smugly showed him a jack of hearts, but Louis presented a king of diamonds. "Don't catch the chickens before they fly," he teased. "You know that's not how the saying goes, right? Regardless, you lost. Fine, I'll go with truth for now." "Wuss," he teased. Louis thought for a moment, scratching his chin dramatically. "Even though we'd be in this situation?" he asked, his hand tracing small circles on the belly. She thought about it, looking down at his fingers. Truthfully, she couldn't say she hadn't dreamed about it a few times in the 5 years they'd been together. Granted, her daydreams didn't include nearly as many walkers roaming the earth. "Yeah, I think so," she said, nodding. "I think I started thinking about it about 2 years ago. But I never thought it would be under these circumstances." "That's fair," he conceded. They drew cards again, and this time Louis was a loser. "Ask away." Clem thought of a question that had been plaguing her mind for the past months. Having heard Louis gush relentlessly about the mere thought of having a child, "After all these years," she whispered, pressing her forehead to his, "do you have any regrets?" Louis chuckled, shaking his head vehemently. "Not a single one, my dearest," he said in a sing-song voice, leaning in and kissing her on the lips. "Why would you ever ask that?" And this is where we'll stop for part 2. Stay tuned for part 3, and Marine the Raccoon reads Chapter 19 of The Walking Dead: Hope.